All right, good morning, guys. Or good afternoon once again. I know I get the first period Miss Alonzo's and sixth period kiddos. This warm-up, I want you guys to do the same one you did yesterday. I know some of the writing on some of this is kind of rough. When you look at that, that's an A, that's a B, that's a C. Again, if we're going to identify the legs, remember the legs, we're trying to find the L. So where's the L here? It's upside down, but there's your L, okay? So make sure you find your L, and then those are your legs, right? Leg, leg. What's this guy called? The longest side is called the hypo. And it's always the longest side, and it's always off the right angle. I almost made an arrow with my right angle sign, didn't I? I made an arrow there. It's pointing at the hypo, okay? So you always should find your right angle, and then you know where everything is, okay? You're going to do this as a quick warm-up. I know that these ones have degrees in it. Don't let that mess with you. Where's your right angle? There's your hypotenuse, your hypo, leg, leg. Easy peasy. All right, I want really good scores on this one. And then after that, I'm going to have Miss Alonzo as well give you, let's see if I can do this one real quick. Let's see. So what are we doing? We're identifying legs and hypotenuse. I did this one yesterday in class. I should have saved it. All right, so identify the legs and hypotenuse, like this one right here. And same question, same idea, right? Which side is the hypotenuse? It's the side that has the number 12. So boom, okay? So this one's going to be on there as well. Do the best you can. Then we're going to go ahead and do a quick review here. So Miss Alonzo, go ahead and do those two warm-ups, and then I would like them to just watch what's going to happen here. So before we get started with whiteboards, I want you to see how things are going to go a little bit with the math. So making sure, this is what we did yesterday. So I want you guys to see the math happen. I want you to see what's going on here. So for this one, we're looking at this equation. We see our leg, and our hypo. And if you forgot the equation itself, we got to put that in your head. It's leg squared plus leg squared equals hypo squared. And the goal for me, if you think about how I taught this, last week I got you really good at solving this. Last week, this is not a big deal. And yesterday and this morning, right now, you guys are good at identifying legs and the hypo. So now if you know where the legs and the hypo are, and you know how to do this math isn't going to be difficult. It should be a piece of cake. You should be fine. No big deal. All right. So here we go. We're going to go ahead and just plug this in. 3 squared is 9, right? 4 squared is 16 equals x squared. And we did this one yesterday. But just to review again, this is a combined like terms. They're not always going to be that way. Don't think that that's always going to be the case. In a second, we're going to do one that's a little different. But this equals 25 equals x squared. And then how do you finish it? You kill the square by going 5 equals x. Okay? So x equals 5, and that's your final answer. So let's keep this ball rolling with a little bit of a different, I want you to watch this one. So this one is the same idea. We're going to skip out of that one. This one's the same idea. I'm trying to do one that's different. Come on, Marusik. Where's the one that's different? Here we go. All right, so this is the one I wanted you to see that's different. So just looking at this slide, it says write out the equation. I'm just going to have you guys look at this triangle. And what do you notice that's a little different is you have one leg here. How do you know this is the leg? Because I have my right angle sign. The legs are the L. Don't mess this up, all right? So you know this is your legs. So if I pull this out, this marker, this is a leg. There's a leg, all right? So what do you notice? This is a leg, this is a leg, this is the hypo. So how would I plug this into the formula? 15 squared plus x squared equals 17 squared. Okay? And there's your answer. 15 squared plus x squared equals 17 squared. Now, let's keep going a little further. Let's go ahead and plug this in. So if I had the calculator out, oh, it won't let me do it. I open up my calculator. I'm going to go 15 squared, right? That's 225. So I would write that down. I don't think it's going to let me. Yeah, let me do this. 225 plus x squared equals 17. Hold on, let's figure out what 17 squared is. Oh, I don't have an eraser here. So let's go here. And if I go back to this, what is 17 squared going to be? 289. All right, so back to my pen here. We're going to go 289. Now from here, so this is not a combined like terms. This is not a mustache one. You guys realize that. You guys are getting good with your skills, so don't freak out. That's not what it's looking like. So what is it actually looking like? We are going to be doing, and I really wish I had an eraser here. I can just try to erase this stuff here. We're going to subtract. So it looks a little messed up, but we're going to do this, and you guys can figure it out. We're going to subtract 225. We're going to move the constant to the right. We're going to move the constant to the right. So if we move the constant to the right, we're going to subtract 289 minus 289 minus 225, and we're going to get 64. Okay, that's important, 64. And that number should jump out at you because that's going to be a perfect square. What's the square root of 64? And the answer is going to be 8. Okay, so that's a perfect square. Today, you're not going to be dealing with perfect squares, all right? All right, so now I would like you guys to all get your whiteboards out. As I get ready here, get your whiteboards out. Okay, so if I get to this point here, perfect. I want you guys to have a whiteboard out, and let's just start with A, writing, B, with the talking, and the calculator, okay? So I want your calculator out, and let me make sure I get that set up too for you guys so you can see what's happening. All right, so the first problem I'm going to give you, sorry guys, I had to fix things up a little bit. I do want the B to have their calculator out. And when I say their calculator, I want their Desmos calculator out. I don't want to, I mean, handheld calculators sometimes aren't the worst things in the world, but I really need you guys getting good at, using these buttons. So if it's 8 squared, you can just hit 8 and square it, okay? And when you have your final answer, you can just go, okay, well, what's the square root of even the answer? You can vans it, right? V-A-N-S, all right? You can do that as well if you want. But I really need you guys using your tools wisely, okay? That's huge for me. Now, let's go ahead and start this off. So when I see a problem, I'm going to give you a triangle. Let's see if I can do that. Let me give you a triangle. I'm going to put a right angle. That'll help you a lot, right? You should know what those right angles are. Then let's keep it going. What's going to happen here? I'm going to give you a couple numbers, aren't I? So let's just start it simple. Let me give you 9 and 12 and x. So A has written all that down. A, I would also like you to write this. You're going to see this later on your activity. All right? So now A, you've written this all down. I would like you to look at B and say, what do I do? B, I would like you to say these things. So, well, if you get lost, identify the legs and the hypo. I would like you to even point out leg, hypo, and then plug it into the formula. Tell me where these things go, or tell your partner where things go. The more and more you talk, the more and more you point, the more and more you're going to learn this, and it's going to stick in your brain. It's not going to stay in your brain today and be gone next Tuesday. I need this to stay in your brain for at least till geometry sophomore year when you do this again. So that's like 2 years from now. You need to keep this in your brain at least for that long, if not longer. So making sure you take the time to go through this. So go ahead and try this out. Do the best you can, working together. Push pause, Miss Alonzo, as I go through these problems to let these kids work, okay? All right, now let's go ahead and solve this. So I would say 9 squared, right, plus 12 squared equals x squared. That's how I would want it to be set up, okay? And I know 9 squared is 81, plus I know 12 squared is 44 equals x squared. And then now I look at this and I'm like, okay, and I'm going to use a different color so you can see it. I'm going to combine like terms, right? So for this one, I am going to bring in the calculator to finish this off, all right? So it's going to be what? 81 plus 144 equals 225, all right? So the square root of the answer, or 225, is 15. So let me just show you that, okay? We just did this math here, all right? Let me bring that back. And this is going to be 225 equals x squared, and then the square root of that whole thing was 15. Okay? Very cool. All right, let's switch gears, switch roles. A is going to be talking, B is going to be writing. Let's keep it going. So now let's go ahead and just make sure you see that. B is writing, A is talking. All right, next triangle. I'll keep it pretty simple. Let's go 18 and 11 and x, and go ahead and set this up. Ooh, I've got it a little even fancier there with the squareds. All right, B, write that out. A, talk it out. You guys go. All right, it'd be 11 squared, 18 squared, and x squared. We're good? Then I would get the calculator out. I know 11 squared is 121, but I have no idea what 18 squared is. So let me get this calculator out. And I can even get fancy here. I'm going to go 11 squared plus, since I know it's right here, 18 squared. Again, look at how I wrote this out. Look at how useful I used my calculator. All right, now I have 45. So I'm going to go ahead and go square root of the answer, which is 445. I get 21.9, and we always want to round to the 10th for us. I've always taught you that. So 21.1. If you got there, let's go. Okay, 21.1 was your answer. 21.1 if you rounded it. All right, switch roles. We're going to keep it going. All right, here's your problem. Now I'm going to kick it up a notch. So this is going to be an x. This is going to be 15, and this is going to be 20. All right, take a look at your triangle. Take a look at what I've given you. Identify the legs and the hypo and go for it. See if you can handle this problem. Let me give you a clue. We're going to be doing this step right here. All right, we're not going to be combining like terms. There you go. Go for it. Push pause. X squared, 15 squared, 20 squared. Okay, I know x squared stays here. 225, I know that one by heart, and I know 20 times 20 is 400. All right, now I told you this step's going to come into play. You're going to move your constant to the right. So I'm going to subtract 225 from 400, okay? I'm going to get x squared equals, what's that going to be, 175? And that's not a perfect square, so we got to finish it. So where's my calculator? Let's take it out. How do we finish it? We're going to clear all this and go 1 square root of 175. And we get 13.2. 13.2. All right? Making sure you're good. We're going to square root both sides so you can see that. Final answer is 13.2. All right, you guys got this. Let's do one more. One more. Let's see how you guys are doing. All right, shoot. Who was writing? Okay, good. Let's go. B's writing, right? All right, let's go here, here, boom. And we're going to go x 18, 11. All right, guys, go for this one. As we plug this in, making sure you identify your legs properly. All right, that's how you're going to mess this problem up if you don't do that properly. Now I'm going to get the calculator out right away. I know what 11 times 11 is 121, but I don't know what 18 squared is. 324. Okay, so 324, I'm going to put that here. 11 times 11 is 121. You have the calculator if you need it. Now we're going to go ahead and do our step. We're going to move our constants to the right. All right, that cancels out. X squared equals, let's just do the math here. What's it going to be? 203? 203. All right. So I just did that math right now without the calculator. You guys can always use the calculator for that one. Now let's go ahead and use the calculator. Let's open it up. So clear all, square root of 203. Boom, 14.24. 14.24 means we're just going to keep it at 14.2. 4 more, 4 or less, let it rest. 14.2. All right? All right. The next activity I really want you guys to crush. I want you guys to do the best you can. Let me see if I can open this up real quick. As you're working this out, sorry, let me change it up real quick here. I am going to, it seems like a lot, but you're only doing half of it, right? A's and B's. So when you get your paper, fold it in half, right? And then you're going to start working it out. A does a problem, right? B has the calculator. So B has to stay involved. B has to plug stuff in. So B does the work, all right? Then we flip it over. B is writing it out, but A has to have the calculator out, okay? None of you are doing this work all on your own. You're working as a team, all right? You're constantly working as a team. Do the best you can with this, and then you have a quizzes homework tonight, all right? You guys got this. Great job.